Okay, this is my favorite topic of the day. Joe Burrow reportedly will be out several weeks after suffering a calf strain a little over a week ago. Well, superstar and top target Jamar Chase does not want to see him rush back, saying he wants his quarterback to be, quote, 100% healthy to play. He also told Burrow they're good as long as he's there after week 5. I co-sign this in totality. Schultz, I've seen far too often calves turn into Achilles, and I'm tired of seeing it. Most notably, we all saw Kevin Durant. Calf strain turned into an Achilles. My close friend, little brother Jordan Hicks, playing for the Philadelphia Eagles, Super Bowl year. He had a calf strain for 3 weeks. Go to play Carolina Panthers. He's advised, hey, we need you to play. Rush out there and play. 3 plays into that game, pop, there goes the Achilles. I've seen calves turn into Achilles. I don't want to see that for Burrow. But can the Bengals afford to be patient with Burrow, given how tough the AFC is?
They can. The question is, will they? Now, there's a couple things here. One is he still hasn't gotten paid, right? So he's going to be, Joe Burrow is the highest paid player in NFL history. That is no debate. He also has the same agent as Nick Bosa, who's holding out in San Francisco. You have to wonder if Joe Burrow should even get on the field until he has that deal. Now, to me, I know he's aiming for week 1. He's extremely competitive. We all know that. The number 1 seed is everything in the AFC. Now, we've talked prior to the show that maybe for Cincinnati, they prove they don't need it. Buffalo, the same. But the bottom line is it's been incredibly important to Kansas City's success. Go back last year when the number 1 seed ran through Arrowhead. Cincinnati has a significant home field, and Burrow, to me, is at the stage in his career where we know he's one of the best 3 quarterbacks in the league. He's proven it. We talked about Herbert getting there. Burrow is there. Now it's really, does he sit out a couple games? I know they have maybe a somewhat soft stretch to begin the season, but the AFC, specifically the AFC North, is a gauntlet. And you have Pittsburgh chasing you, Baltimore, Cleveland should be good. To me, Joe Burrow, I would be surprised if he misses time, considering how competitive he is. And even with the calf, I think that deal gets done, and I think he's on the field week 1.
I think he should take his time. I mean, Jamar Chase, he probably wants his quarterback faster back than we do, right? If you look at the schedule that it showed, I mean, the only team I see in the first 5 games is the Ravens. You play the Browns, you play the Ravens, you play the Rams, the Titans, and the Cardinals. 5 of them games, they expect to beat the Browns. That might be a tough one, but the only game I see that they can lose is the Ravens. You get your quarterback back. All these other different teams, like the Chargers. I remember when last year when Herbert got the rib injury, right? And I was like, man, he has to play because we don't know what they can do without him, right? We don't know what it looks like. And I think that going forward, because it's always about the playoff seedings, or the Bengals, if maybe they lose a couple of games early, you need Herbert, or not Herbert, you need Burrow healthy, because going forward, they can win games in the playoffs. They don't have to be the number 1 seed. We watched them go down at the Arrowhead and beat the Chiefs. They beat the Chiefs, right? They go to the Super Bowl.
2 years ago,
then we just watched them beat the Bills in Buffalo. And listen, I played in Buffalo. It's hard to win there. It's cold and it's loud. And if you could get Joe Burrow healthy 100%, they could beat any team anywhere.
I'm so torn because I fully agree. These type of injuries can turn into a disaster really quickly. So I hesitate to rush anyone back from them because you don't want it to become something much worse. And as you guys know, you kind of need rest. Like, one of the biggest factors for these types of injuries is not doing anything at all. It's like letting it heal. But it's the NFL. This isn't the NBA. This isn't baseball. This isn't hockey.
No load management.
You can't just, check off a couple games in any capacity, particularly in the AFC. So yeah, Cleveland, that's a division game.
It's going to be tough.
I think it's going to be tough. Baltimore, we know that's going to be tough. All right, so we don't think the Rams are going to be that good. But
Titans going to be tough.
How good is Cincinnati without their franchise quarterback? On paper, we can go down Rams, Tennessee, Arizona. Any of these teams could beat them. They could beat them at their strength. This is the NFL. It's any given Sunday for a reason. So if he's healthy enough to play, pending, of course, that he's paid.
Let's assume the deal. Let's assume the deal.
If he's not paid, he shouldn't do anything. But if he is paid, assuming he does have the contract, if he's healthy enough, he is feeling healthy enough, I feel like you do have to play. If there's any question at all, you don't. But I really hesitate to play the on paper, this team's not good, da-da-da. If you don't have your starting quarterback, how good are you?
Let me ask you, okay, so let's say they go 2-3, the first 5. Can we say that?
Yeah.
Because without Joe Burrow, let's say 2-5. Yeah. let's not forget, last year they ran off, 10 in a row?
Yeah.
They had moments where when they got Joe healthy and everything was rolling, they went 10 in a row.
They had a slow start.
Here's
also.
what's fascinating, though. They lost to the Steelers last year, week 1.
4th picks.
Lost to Cooper Rush and the Cowboys week 2. Those 2 losses came back to haunt them in the playoffs because, for obvious reasons, Arrowhead and Kansas City ends up getting the 1 seed instead of the Bengals. Now, to Shady's point, the Bengals have beaten whoever, wherever, whenever. They do not care. But we all know it is easier to beat the Chiefs, if you will beat the Chiefs, at home than on the road.
But also, keep in mind, this is a new year. There's going to be a really good team that misses the playoffs.
Yep. You don't want it to be you.
You don't want it to be you. Look at this division. Let's say
tough.
Cleveland is what they're supposed to be.
Yep.
Let's say they're what they're supposed to be. That means it's Baltimore, Cleveland, and Cincinnati are really legitimate teams with top
Pittsburgh
5 talent quarterbacks. Yes, and you know Pittsburgh's going to be good. Like, that's the toughest division of football, obviously. I just don't mention the Steelers because we don't know what kind of level Kenny Pickett's going to be on this year. I think he'll be better, but we know what Joe Burrow is, we know what Deshaun Watson is, and we know what Lamar Jackson is. So, again, that worked last year, but every year's a new year, and we know there's going to be a team that misses the playoffs who is a good team. So, yes, we can look year to year and say, okay, they didn't need the postseason or they had this losing streak and were able to make it back. But is that a game that you really want to play? Because, again, what is Cincinnati without Joe Burrow?
The worst injury in sports is an Achilles, right?
It is.
No doubt about it.
That's the new ACL.
That's the worst injury in freaking,
Yeah, it's like 2 years.
Yeah.
Right?
It's the worst.
So I am with Acho when you say I want to be conservative, and I am with Jamar Chase. Houday is a crazy home field, that jungle. To me, if your doctors are telling you that he's good to go and he gets his money, which he will, then let's go, week 1.
I wouldn't waste it, bro.
Here's why.
Y'all
Got to remember, he got hurt in practice.
Yeah.
And like the
He had a sleeve on.
second day of
He
practice.
had a sleeve on.
And he had a sleeve.
That's fair.
Let's use context clues,
That's
America.
fair.
Use context clues at home. He got home in the 2nd or 3rd day of practice when you ain't been doing nothing all summer.
No contact.
It's like all summer, all you've been doing is whatever you want to do. So if you get hurt on the 2nd or 3rd day of practice and you don't have the accrued pain and wear and tear of the summer, imagine what's going to happen in a game. Bro, you got hurt when you know you can't hit the quarterback. Now imagine what he's going to do when Myles Garrett is chasing him. On the flip side, Zadarius Smith. That's week 1. Los Angeles Rams, Aaron Donald's chasing him. Oh, that's week 3. Like, imagine what you got to do then. So that's why I'm with you, 2-5. Is like, I'm sitting, I'm chilling.
But the alternative is Trevor Siemian, who you're assuming he's going to win 2 out of 5 games. We don't know that.
2 out of 5. Well, here's the thing. Remember, to Joy's point, who's a backup? Who's good with the backup quarterback? Cardinals are playing their backup quarterback.
Yep.
My guy, Colt McCoy, he's going to be playing. Tennessee Titans, all their starters are to some degree backups because we don't know who they play.
But Cleveland, Deshaun, Baltimore, Lamar, Stafford's healthy in L.A.
Yeah, it's going to be tough. It's going to be tough.
But I just think if you can wait it out, right? Let's say you win one of them games. My thing is this. They can win multiple games in a row. They did it. They won 10 in a row last year, right? And then
But they didn't have home field.
But here's my thing, though. And if you think of like, okay, the playoffs, what team you think could beat the Chiefs right now in the AFC?
Bengals.
You see what I'm saying? The only thing we can just say with so much confidence is the Bengals because they did it already. You see what I'm saying? And I think that the Chiefs are a better team, but that doesn't matter because every time they play, majority of the time,
dogfight.
The Bengals win that game. So I'm thinking, okay, if you don't even get home field advantage, but you got Joe Burrow that's healthy now. Yeah, you gave up and sacrificed some 5 games, but now you got Joe Burrow for the whole season that's healthy. And when he's healthy, he's the most dangerous quarterback that's not named Patrick Mahomes. That's the truth. That's the truth.
You're confident.
Such a risk, though.
What's that?
It's actually a risk on both sides. It's a risk waiting and it's a risk waiting.
So y'all hold on. So y'all don't think that? So let's say if they go 0-5 without Joe Burrow and he comes back, y'all think they can run him off?
They could, but it's not ideal.
I don't think they're making the playoffs if they go 0-5.
It's never happened before, so.
If any team can do it, I think it's the Bengals.
That is fair. If any team, it's the Bengals. But to Joy's point, if you go 0-5, remember when you show up, you got 3 straight playoff teams. The Seahawks, who I believe is a dark horse for one of the best teams in the NFC. The Niners, who are obviously one of the best teams in the NFC. And then the Bills, who the last 3 years have been the second best team in football. The Buffalo Bills are.
0-5 is extreme. I mean, they should
1-4. You're practically dead.
I think they should go 2-3. I think that's
I agree.
Legit.
At worst.
And they can ball after that.
I mean, yeah, I hear you. Like if you're telling me right now, the scenario is they're 100% going 2-3, and he could come back 100% healthy, I would sign up for that. But I look at the absolute worst case scenario and the absolute best case scenario. Best case scenario, your backup comes in, wins every game. Worst case scenario, he comes in and you lose every game.
Yeah.
And can you dig yourself out of the worst case, even losing every game or going 1-4? Can you dig yourself out of that?
Joy, though, now that you've tasted winning with Burrow, my fear is I don't want to lose him for an extended period. What nobody talks about in sports, nobody talks about the fact that, just like we say, Mahomes, 5 straight AFC championship games. We say that and you hear it. It resonates in your head.
That's crazy.
Every year is Burrow healthy. Every year that Burrow's healthy, he's in the AFC championship game. The year he wasn't was his rookie year when he got hurt. I don't want to see no more hurt Joe Burrow. What Joe Burrow has done in a smaller size is just as impressive as what Mahomes has done. 2 years, Super Bowl, and then the AFC championship game again. So when Burrow's healthy, you can write him right in there too, like you can write in Pat, Jordan.
Wouldn't you argue, though, then, with that in mind, he is the franchise for the next decade plus? The dude should not be on the field until that thing is signed.
Oh, no.
Oh, he know that, though. He going to get that thing signed before he...
But are you saying...
No, I'm saying even practice. I don't even want him on the field.
No. He shouldn't be doing anything at all until it's signed.
The only reason I don't care, I would agree, the only reason I don't care, and unfortunately Dave Hellman beat me over the head with this, and then we saw it literally with Lamar. Lamar Jackson, he got hurt in a legitimate injury, like PCL injury. He missed the last 6 games, plus the playoff game. He got the deal highest paid at the time. Dak Prescott, he breaks his leg, freaking fractured fibula. He gets the highest paid deal, 4 years, $160 million. He'll see all of that, plus he'll get paid more. So after what we've seen in the last 3 years with Dak and with Jackson, Burrow will get his money because Burrow has done more than Lamar and Dak and went to a worse organization. So I'm really not tripping. I feel y'all, but I'm just not tripping.
Well, to put it in context, I spoke to a rival GM about Burrow. Is there any doubt at all because of the injury? And he said, if there's anybody you're not worried about, it's Joe Burrow. I mean, he has proven it. So he'll get the money. I think he plays week 1.
I won't mess with that. And then, you put your quarterback in a bad situation. If he's not 100% healthy, and it's not like he's a regular quarterback. He's the best thing that happened to the Bengals franchise.
No, I mean, if he's not 100%, there's no question.
Yeah, you can't play with him like that.
The crazy thing is, and Shady, you had a calf. Joy, I don't know if you've had a calf injury or not. Though that's the type of injury where, you think you're 100% because you feel 100%, and then it pops. So to say if somebody's 100% or not, it's not like, a headache, or it's not like a broken thumb or somewhere I know I'm not 100. You think you 100 until you try to push off, until you try to play, until Myles Garrett's coming at you and you try to go with that spin move and pop. Show the play one more time, Burrow getting injured, because I just want y'all to see how it sneaks up on him. It's not like he was he's chilling. He in the pocket. Scans left, pump. Scans right, he scrimp, boom. Yeah, he thought he was 100% that play, and now look.
I mean, the way you saying it, though, I mean, that's just football. Yeah. If you feel 100%, go out there and play, but you can't. But
if Joe Burrow says, I'm good to go, coach, if Zach Taylor, what are you doing?
But Joe Burrow's had a significant injury before. Yeah. He knows what it's like to come back from that. So once a player's been injured like that, I trust them to know their body even more than somebody who hasn't suffered an injury like that, because they know what it's like to do all the rehab, to miss the time, to not be able to have their body fully functioning. I think he's going to take it seriously. I don't think he's I know you have different feelings about protecting players from themselves, and you do to some degree, but like Shady said, if you feel 100%, you gotta. You
can't. Yeah, if he said I'm 100%, coach, let's play. Who are you to say?
They will play.
I'm gonna say, but who are we to say you can't play?
The doctor.
But see, hold up. There's arguments we have. How can a doctor tell me I'm 100%? I can't or can't go. A scan.
What do you mean? I can't?
So when you talked about Kevin Durant, I'm sure when he had his scan and all that, it looked like he was good to go. You're not gonna put your player out there if they don't look good to go.
Yeah, but Shady, because you've had ribs, you've had calves, you've had all the things. It's like, hey, can you go? And if you say, yeah, I can go, but there is a point, I remember we're playing the Cowboys on Thanksgiving 2014. I tore my groin against the Titans 4 days prior. This is a game you went crazy. We ended up winning 30-6 on Thanksgiving. I'm in Dallas. It was a year that I was a rotational starter with Casey Matthews, so I really want to play. Thanksgiving, everybody watching. Before the game, true story, I'm warming up in front of Howie Roseman, general manager, linebacker coach Rick Minner, Billy Davis, defensive coordinator, and Jeffrey Lurie, owner, standing at a distance. So they take me through every drill. Back pedal break at 45, back pedal break at 90, back pedal turn pirouette, cover 3 drop, all the things. Coach looks at me like, you good to go? Yeah, I'm good to go. I wasn't good to go at all, but it's Dallas. I got to play. Yeah, I'm good to go. Linebacker coach pulled me aside. DC pulled me aside, and he said, hey, you are a break glass if needed player. Like, we're not playing you this game.
Did you pass the scan on my question?
I passed it. I passed everything.
That's what I'm saying. So
but I should not have been on that field, is my point.
You didn't play, right?
No,
Yeah.
because I couldn't run. I legitimately couldn't run. I could pass the test.
But the question was,
run.
if you pass the test, right?
And
All this
feel
skin, all these
100%.
doctors.
That's my question.
All these big, thick glasses doctors, you right over there, all the notes, and you pass it. And Joe says, hey, coach, yeah, you heard what the doc said. I'm 100% ready to roll. Can I play? How can you tell that man no? Since he's been a little kid, he probably dreamed to do this.
Yeah.
You get what I'm saying? That's a hard situation.
It's a very hard situation to be
I'm out there.
in. I just hope Joe Burrow is healthy because Joe Burrow is better for the National Football League and obviously the Bengals. All right, speaking of getting paid.
Subscribe here to get the latest from Speak and go watch a few segments from our other shows on FS1.